both of you own your own homes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are you guys in the Airbnb game at all?
Do y'all flip houses?
Yeah,
No.
flip houses.
No.
I actually was thinking to get into that, but
Into
I
what?
feel like
Flipping
flipping
homes
homes.
on Airbnb.
Flip
Okay.
house, that's
Yeah.
what I'm
because now the way the
yeah.
market is right now is like you can't get a good deal on a flip.
Yeah. Why?
Everyone's
Why
buying-
can't you
because
get good?
just the
Good evening and happy Sunday. All right, hold on here. I gotta adjust myself on here, y'all. Okay, welcome to SipNlips. It's Sunday night. Thanks for coming back. We got Beauty in the building.
I'm
This
here.
is
I'm here.
Beauty, okay?
Hey, y'all.
And I'm Flower. I'm Flower. I don't know if anybody caught that last week, but you know, this is who we're talking to. We have Chris. We got Ricky. Sorry, guys. We're gonna turn that down. All right. So yeah, we're late as usual. That's my fault, and I'm going to accept full responsibility because it is my fault. I'm always late. Tonight we're talking real estate, but before we even get started, I need to do a shout out to my co-host here, Beauty, and show off my.
I felt mad special for a moment. I'm like, what happened?
Yes. I mean, first of all, you should.
I
She
mean,
made these beautiful glasses,
yeah.
okay? And they say our names. I don't know if y'all can see that from here, but mine says Flower. And, of course, it says SipNlips.
Cheers to us. And
Cheers
our
to us,
glasses.
right? Okay. And the convo space. All right. So, of course, we're sipping. I hope y'all got y'all drinks.
and then we got these.
Yes. Yes. They don't
Cheers.
have...
Is
We let them sit with the cool kids tonight, but we couldn't come back to that. Okay, that's what that's about there.
They let us
Maybe
sit at the
after.
lunch table.
Maybe after if y'all do well.
Right.
Okay.
We are nice people. So, Chris, I just want you to introduce yourself. Tell the people what you do, how you do it, whatever you want to add in there. Throw whatever you like out there into
Cool.
that message.
Well, I'm Chris Avila. I'm a realtor here in the Lehigh Valley. It's about my third year in the game. You know, a lot has changed in those 3 years. I'm rocking and rolling, willing to help anybody that wants to buy a home. Don't matter wage, price. I'm doing it all.
And we'll
So,
get into that because that's a big question. You know, people are have those concerns, the money, the credit,
Mhm.
you know, what they do, how long they've been doing bank accounts, that type of thing. Everybody,
Yeah, for sure.
I know for me, that's always been a question. You know, I rent and I've always rented, but I've never wanted to purchase a home, especially as a single female. And we'll get into that too.
And-
So
Yeah, I got a lot of clients that are single mothers, and
yeah,
you know they don't know that how easy it can be.
yeah.
So we guide them through the process, and you know get things.
Now, are
going.
you guys a duo? Do you normally work together on all?
Well, we work together a lot. We do. Me and Ricky known each other for 20 some years.
Okay.
Went to high school together, and
Oh.
you know we do.
Ricky, is he a good guy?
Absolutely.
Is he? Are you? Don't say that for the camera. Okay. We need to know the real here. Okay.
That's facts.
Okay.
That's facts.
Now, Ricky, what do you do?
So I'm a mortgage lender,
Okay.
loan officer. We go by a couple different names. I work for My City Mortgage. Been doing it for about a year. And I think the difference is, like Chris said, we do it because we love it, right? So yes, it
Sure.
pays the bills.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something about serving our community, helping people make dreams become reality, as cliche as it sounds.
No, I love
It's-
that.
it's-
Yeah, I like that.
So you
Yeah.
said, what were the two names you used? Lender and mortgage what?
Mortgage, so the correct term is mortgage loan originator. But we're a mortgage lender, right? So everybody knows it by something different.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the day, I'm the folks or one of the folks that you got to come to get a pre-approval to be able to figure out how much house you can afford and then be able to shop for your home.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know you came with the package deal. This is
Part of the
that's good
process.
information.
Yeah.
I just want to say hi to Justin, Shalise. How y'all doing tonight? Justin, you're new. Thanks for watching, sir.
Hey,
Shalise, shout out to you.
Shalise.
She's always
Hi,
here,
Shalise.
right?
Hi, Shalise.
Oh, tonight I don't have Twizzlers, y'all. I got chips. Okay, so if I'm crunching, don't mind, and don't be in the comments.
She had a
judging
big
me.
bag, but shout out to the cameraman. He got
Yes.
a nice bowl.
I'm ghetto, and I brought the whole bag
A
with
big
me
old bowl,
because
y'all.
I was rushing. So that's how we're gonna do that.
half empty bag.
Yeah, like it wasn't even
Yeah, it wasn't even a fresh bag.
Hanging on the
fresh.
Listen, it be your own people sitting here judging you.
No, it's
Okay.
Judge Free. Judge Free.
Except different, okay?
Listen,
We accept
bring the
flour.
bag, not the
We
bowl,
accept
okay?
flour.
That's fun. That's great.
So now listen. So you've been in the real estate game for how long?
Me, this is my third full year.
Third, full year.
Mhm.
What made you want to get into the real estate game?
A friend of mine that I went to high school with, she was a realtor, and I've been, work sales jobs all my life.
Oh, so you've always done sales.
Yeah,
You
manager.
like sales.
Yeah.
You like sales.
It's natural. Just
Well,
always
they
came natural to
say
me.
everything is sales. They
Yeah.
do say that everything you deal with is sales. But
in a nutshell, yeah.
I don't know that I absolutely see it that way because I've always been told you should be in sales. But I feel like I'm not pushy enough because once you say no, I just take the no.
The pushing, like that. I'm selling a product that everybody wants.
Absolutely.
Right. And the way I look at it is like a lot of people want the product but don't know how to
Right.
go about obtaining it.
And that's why we have you guys here because so many people that I know, they're either afraid, don't know how, they don't know where to start, they don't know who to go to, they don't know who to talk to.
Yeah.
Growing up, I think for minorities, that was kind of like, we don't do that.
That's like a far-fetched
Yeah.
ideal, yeah.
You don't know anything about it. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's teaching you that. We're not learning
For
it
sure.
in school.
Right.
So unless you have someone close to you that's done it or is gonna do it, you really don't get that information, right? So
Yeah,
it's like,
sure.
where else do you get it from? So we thought it was important to talk about these type of things because we can put that out here, even if people are coming back to it later.
Yeah.
These are things that people can go back and say, okay, oh, what did they say? And they'll be able to find that, and then they'll have you two gentlemen to reach out to.
For sure.
So now, when you started to do it, he was already doing. You've been a mortgage loan originator the whole time.
No,
like
so
that.
for about a year, it's
That's smooth.
truly about 16 months. But my first 90 days into the business were crazy. Working for a company, wasn't getting the training, wasn't getting the support, so it was a struggle.
Yeah.
Until I got situated with the right folks, people that are just giving me the game and mentoring me and truly pouring into me and helping me be the best version of myself and really understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right, understand my value. So
Absolutely.
y'all were talking about sales, and yes, what I do is sales as well. But I look at it as more a service because
Okay.
I don't see myself as a salesman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I look at it this way: if you're gonna buy a house, yes, there's folks that buy a house with cash, but for the majority of people, they need a mortgage.
How often do you see that where people are outright buying houses with cash?
He would see it more than me, but in the
No.
market that we're coming out of, it happened. Especially people coming from Jersey and New York, if they sold something, they're coming here and they're
Okay.
getting a lot
And they
more
have
for
the
their
capital.
value.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
sure.
Now, I come to you, I want a house for $250,000, and I have $250,000. Is the government questioning that, or y'all just taking my money and giving me the house?
If it's in the bank, they won't question it.
If it's not in the bank, what if it's just in the duffel bag?
Oh.
It's got to be accounted for?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah? So now what if I have...
Uncle
the-
Sam's going to come knocking on your
I
door.
was gonna say,
The proper term from the banking standpoint is sourced and seasoned.
Sourced and seasoned.
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 Meaning it's been in the account for X number of days.
Okay, how many days we talking? 30?
More than 60.
More than
Oh, more than
To
60,
be
that's
safe.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
To be safe.
So if I have $500,000, I just threw it in the bank for 60 days.
Well, the government's gonna ask some questions
Yeah,
because
I mean-
anything
Yeah.
over 10K is gonna
Right,
throw
and that's why I asked
flag.
that question, right? So I know over 10K, that's usually where it's getting flagged at. Shout out to Santander, because I was a teller back in the day.
now what? Truist Bank? They ain't even around. Santander? I don't
No,
think-
Sovereign.
Okay.
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
no, it was Sovereign. It's Santander now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I know a bunch of banks have
Right.
changed names. I can't keep
Right.
Yeah, they changed crazy.
Truist, I heard, is good for business banking accounts, though.
Ooh.
Okay.
Truist?
Yeah, Truist. Yeah, if you have an LLC, they're willing to fund. If you have more than just one or another, I follow an account on IG that's into like finances and stuff like that, and he shouted that bank out. So I didn't really fact check it, but
Right.
he put it out there.
I'm
So
going to fact check that.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that this
yeah,
week.
yeah, definitely. I mean, because there's
Sure.
a few of them in the area now, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you have an LLC, which most people do have after COVID, especially, now would be the time if you're trying to make some business moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the most common question you guys get from people when they come to you? Like, is there something that's very familiar when people?
Two most common questions I get is, what does my credit score need to be?
Mm-hmm.
And how much money I need to have in the bank.
Okay.
are always the top.
So what
What are
did
the
you,
answers?
right?
So credit, it varies by lender. The lowest that I seen has been a 580 or higher.
580.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
This is gonna sound ignorant, but because I never bought a house, but
Mm-hmm.
so do the interest rates work like a credit card? If you have bad credit, you know, you might have like interest on it where you're gonna have to pay a higher mortgage or something like that.
Yeah. So
Or
think about it from a qualifying standpoint, right? So that's more of a lending question, which is why I'm chiming in.
okay,
That's why I brought
The
him
better your qualifications, the longer you've been and more consistent you've worked, it's a good factor.
okay,
The more cash you have available, the better your credit score. Always say all of the main factors that go into the application, if you've ever filled out a mortgage app, are qualifications. It's all risk based, right? So can you get qualified with a 580? Yes, but if you got a bunch of other things, we'll call them opportunities.
mm-hmm.
If they all are minimum standards,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to pass.
Okay.
So you got to have some things in order to be able
Okay.
to qualify.
Do you have any questions?
No. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So are you the people that will, hey, I don't think it's the right fit for you right now, or are you just taking them as they come because somebody really wants it? You know, are you going to tell somebody
So-
like come back maybe in 6
That's like
months?
situation based. We like to give the full options.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, hey, you know, you can go with this now, and you might only be approved for 180.
Okay.
If you wait 6 months to a year,
Mm-hmm.
you might be over 200.
Okay.
And we'll give like guidelines like this is what you got to do, pay this off, that off, and then save more money,
Mm-hmm.
and then go. But we'll give all different scenarios.
Okay.
And whatever you feel, we'll give what we feel is the best
Yeah.
option for you. But at the end of the day, it's your decision.
Okay. So now you being a real estate agent,
Mhm.
do you have another name you go by like this gentleman here?
A realtor.
A realtor. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
It's not fancy like him.
I mean, hey.
Just call me a LO.
I gotta,
Hello.
I gotta pay. I gotta pay to use that name. He gets that name for free.
Oh.
Yeah, that's copyright. That's copyright.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dope. You can go by more than one name,
Yeah,
right?
he's-
You know,
he's
you have-
fancy.
hey, I like it. I
Yeah.
love it.
It's
You
just
know.
too complicated that the official name and what people know it is.
Well, I
two
don't know.
di-
I wrote down
two
the
different
official
things.
name. I'm feeling it.
We-
So, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we could go with that.
Right. I mean,
I
like
got
it.
a
that's
question
for me,
about
though.
being a realtor. Is that like your main source of income?
Mhm.
Like, okay.
I'm a realtor, full time, and then I coach high school football as well.
Oh, what's cool?
Liberty.
Damn. Right near the- All right. So, my nephew plays on. He's ninth grade though.
Okay,
Jonte.
that's my
Yeah,
guy.
that's my nephew.
I'm his
Yeah.
coach. I'm the freshman football coach.
Dope.
The head
Okay.
freshman.
Yeah, I'll be. Y'all got a game Monday, right?
Tomorrow, Beckham.
Yep. I'll be
Be there, your listeners.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Bethlehem Catholic, 3:30. Yeah, I mean,
You Bethlehem Catholic alumni too.
Do you know Matt Williams? We had him on the show before.
that's my guy,
That's
Matt.
what I said. He goes, "What you got, Chris? There for? He can't help nobody." LOL.
Yeah, get out of here.
Matt starts with us. Okay.
Oh,
Tell
okay,
Matt-
be on Matt.
You might want to yell at him in the camera real
Yo,
quick.
Matt.
'Cause,
Boo, Central.
Chris got into real estate because he thinks he's pretty. Oh, Matt.
Chris almost spit up over that one.
Oh man, I wish.
Matt, you're not gonna disturb my guest, okay? I didn't let nobody pick on you while you were here. You're not gonna pick on anyone while they're
Oh
here.
damn, Matt, you my guy too.
Right,
Go
right,
back.
You see it, but you don't.
Yeah, that's my guy. Matt's good people, man.
Hi, Goddad. My Goddad Lindell is watching. How you doing, sir? So, yeah, Matt likes to start with our guests. If he's not here, he likes to mess with y'all. So just be prepared. So he said, "Go Vikings."
Yeah, he's a Central guy. He's a Central guy.
He said, "Miss you, Chris."
Yeah, that's my guy. Yo,
Yeah.
he's a black-owned business owner.
Yeah.
You know, he still got his t-shirt line. Matt, you still got your t-shirt line?
Do you have that, Matt? Did he speak of that when he came?
No, he was talking about playing games or playing
Yeah, he
video
has a
games or something.
podcast. I know that he
Okay.
talks about that he does like with
Online streaming and all that.
yes, online streaming and thing. He has more than one, so I don't want to see him miss, but
Okay,
he'll
he's an
answer us,
entrepreneur. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Matt's
What's
doing
up?
his thing.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to go back and watch his episode. 'Cause
Okay.
he's hilarious. Okay, good.
Nah, he's good people's man, Matt. Yeah. Good.
He said yes. He still has it.
All right,
Mhm.
come on, man.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Matt, send us some shirts. We want to represent him on the show, so get us some shirts. We'll wear them and put them out there. Yeah. So all right, listen.
Before we were rudely interrupted by
Right.
a Central Catholic Viking.
I seen a couple messages going there, so I had to like see what that was about there.
He want to be heard.
Right.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
Flag on the flag.
No, but Jonte, that's my guy.
Yeah, shout out to Jonte. Hey Renee,
Yeah.
for watching.
That's
Yeah, his mom is my sister, so
Okay, yeah, that's my guy. Good
She
kid.
looks like one of the kids though. She's 4'11", so you wouldn't even know she was his mom.
Well, thank God he gets his size from his daddy.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's an athlete.
And
He's a
that's
good
all he
kid.
got from his dad. Okay, we can go on back.
That's funny.
That's why you said she'd be reeling you in, right?
I
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Come on, you gotta hit the window.
She over there laughing too
She
hard.
stopped.
She stopped right away. I stopped myself. Look,
And she told me
you
how hard.
asked me that, and I got an earring problem.
You gotta hit her with the text
you.
of the wrench
I'm gonna
and
need
the up
something,
emoji,
like-
so like tighten up.
Because I was going to church.
hard this
I'm
time.
like, girl.
That's
so
what she
I
said.
gotta
Remember, we're
learn
talking
something.
about church, so she had to remind me about
We
church.
were literally talking about church. She gonna ask me some off the wall questions.
Oh, I did have a question for you guys, though. Really quick, could we just interject here? So, we can get a little deep here, okay? Would you rather be loved or be the one giving the love, even though you're not giving it back? What's more important to you? Receiving love or giving the love?
Me, it's always giving the love,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. You know, it's just there's some people out there that might not have been loved,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, dealing with kids, you see kids act out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is because you know they don't get the love,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been like that coach that always is like, you know, how everything's good,
Yeah.
straight. You need anything, you
How long did you
hungry.
say you've been coaching? What did you say?
Coaching youth sports about 14 years.
Dope. So you
Yeah.
you see it a lot. You
Yeah.
deal with a lot of different backgrounds, personalities.
This is my
Yeah.
first year at Liberty,
Okay.
but you know, I've been doing it for a while, and you know, I always gravitate towards the kids.
I
So
love that.
I love the kids, and you know, seeing it throughout the years, they always like, "Hey, Coach Chris, how you doing?" And it's like the excitement in their faces is like, "Okay, like I did my job."
Yeah.
You know, and for sure, I'd rather love
Okay.
than be loved, because I know God loves me and my family loves me, and that's what I'm cool with.
Okay, sorry, we love that. All
Yeah.
right, yes.
Love that.
All right, Ricky, go ahead. Let's hear
So-
it. Can you follow up?
so I can't.
Rick,
No.
Rick's that dude. Rick makes me look like a
No.
like a little.
No.
I mean, with a
We
name.
all make each other better if
For
you
sure.
surround yourself with the right people, right?
Yes.
For sure.
And that's what it's
Yes,
about.
and
That's what
that, and not to cut you off, but I swear that is one of our purposes, to get in the right circles, to be around the right people.
Yeah.
When you have that right circle around you, like you said, you know, it just makes everything that much better. You know, when you have the right people around you, I
100%.
swear, life
You
changes.
can only go up.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the-
So go ahead. I'm
So to
sorry.
answer the question, is both. You can't have one without the other.
Yes, you can. I'm gonna go against
So
you.
so I'm gonna tell you in my life,
Go.
based on where I'm at.
Yes.
You can't have one without the other. And I say that being married for 8 years, coming to Christ, and growing up as a young man in Bethlehem.
Mm-hmm.
Both of my parents are still married, love and support, but my dad was a rough dude, right? Love was different. It wasn't physical, it wasn't emotional, it was what it was, right?
Yeah.
Parents can only give you what they can give.
Real quick, his papa OG.
Yeah.
I used to be a store manager at Verizon,
Mm-hmm.
and his dad was like my favorite customer.
Mm-hmm.
Always,
My
hands
my
down.
pop's got stories for days. He did some
Yeah.
wild stuff in his lifetime.
Great dude.
Wild stories. But long story short,
Yeah.
our parents can only give us what, right? So in that relation, but coming into my marriage, I've learned, number one, how to love, and I learned how important it is to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we operate, and I say from a male perspective, to put the weight of the world on our shoulders in a worldly sense.
Yes.
Put the weight of the world on our shoulders
Yeah.
and carry on and not feel and not worry about it. We can do it all on our own, but the reality is that's not how it works. That's how we are taught and,
Programmed.
and
Yeah.
programmed to
Yeah.
think, but that's not reality. We all need somebody. We all need somebody.
For sure.
Speak on
That
that.
So you and if you give, you're gonna
You're gonna
run.
basically-
The cup is gonna run dry at some point. Then what do?
It,
You can't give if you don't have.
and that's
What?
what I mean. Go ahead.
My thing is like, you know, if you love properly, those people are gonna love you back, right?
Yeah,
And the ones that don't probably have that ill intent, and they'll wean themselves out of your circle. For sure.
They'll wean themselves out, or either they'll try to run you dry. You know what I mean? You have those people who just, like you said, and that's why that was important. You said that they don't know how to love. So you can love on a person, right? And not ever get that back from that other person because they don't know how to.
For sure.
But they're continuously taking, then it becomes that leech situation, where they're just taking from you, they're latched on. They love you because they love the way you love them.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's expectations. It's expectations. You learn to love people for who they are, accept them for who they are, and at some point, depending on the relationship and the dynamic of it, you have to put boundaries up.
Absolutely.
So I can love you from afar.
From a distance.
If you're detrimental to me.
You see that a lot, especially with adults.
Yeah.
There's some people like, yo, I love you.
Yeah, hey, all right. That's it. Yeah.
Right now.
No, that's a big thing with me for family. We talked about that on the show
Especially
about
family.
right, loving from
Especially
a
when you're
distance.
older,
What? You gotta
When you
create
get
those
married
boundaries.
and things
Oh,
like that.
that's my cousin. I gotta, no, I don't.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I love you, but
Yeah.
you stay over there. I'm gonna stay over here.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. We'll respect each other's space, So that's why I asked that question. Now I got one more question for y'all. Do y'all think spiders have eyes?
Yo, we were just looking at this.
I need some background on that. You gotta give me some
what
information.
makes you think the spider has eyes? But obviously it does, right?
Does it?
It does.
My girlfriend told me it has several eyes. One of my girlfriends, and I left my tablet.
never
Usually I'll be
Googled
sitting
this,
here
so I don't
Googling it.
know.
I fact check stuff, I'd be like,
Yeah.
but I didn't do that because the spider had me so thrown off. So just to give you guys a little background.
Please.
So I was getting in the shower. There was a spider on my ceiling. It was a spider on my ceiling. It wasn't like really big, but it might have been like that big. I am afraid of anything that has more than 2 legs. So if you're not human, I don't deal with you. Okay? There's this period. So I get it and I see it up there. It catches my eye immediately, but I'm already undressed, TMI. But so this give you understand what's going on. So you don't really want to fight a bug when you don't have clothes on because now it's like weird. What if it like jumps somewhere
She had
awkward?
to defend herself.
Right.
Like,
I definitely
She's about to get jumped in the
She's
club,
like,
and it's a damn spider.
That's how I felt.
That
That is how I felt. That is how I felt. I felt attacked in that moment without even moving. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, and it stopped. It did what I did. It literally
So
stopped.
it was watching you.
That's what
So you answering the question.
That's what I'm asking you.
But the spiders got
I
senses
didn't have
too.
that
You
experience.
see what I'm saying?
They got
That doesn't have
senses.
What is
They
it?
do have senses.
Spidey senses.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why did we think of that? Oh man,
Spidey
see,
senses.
that's why sometimes you
What do you find out
need
what
guys
that
in here because they
spidey
think
senses
about cartoons like that.
Yeah,
right?
Spidey senses.
See, I would have never
It just
thought
hit
about
me.
that.
Once I
Right?
watched
But
it
that's
all the time.
but that's
See?
how it be. They
It's probably sensed me
it has
or
senses.
seen me.
Something.
We
And this
can't
seems
say
made
that.
that's crazy.
Okay,
That's
disrespectful.
But how big was the spider?
I like that. Like
Oh,
with
that's
the
a big
legs.
spider for here.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, what's about
Yeah,
like that?
so
All you
bleach
gotta
on
put
it.
the legs out. Listen, I wasn't throwing nothing on that damn thing. I was in the water. I was like, oh no. So I'm like, I see it and I'm like, Oh, so I had to think about it and I'm like, all right, so maybe I'm going to turn my face. I'm not going to look at it because I felt like it was watching me. So I was like, if I don't watch it, it won't watch me. That's the vibe I was getting. So what I did is I turned my head. And started to across the wall.
Okay.
Right? But then I couldn't find the damn thing once I was done with the shower, ready to attack it.
Yeah, it's
Because
dead.
I was ready to come
Yeah,
with
I
the
knew
bleach.
what the fuck the spider sense. They knew what he was
See
going
what
to
I'm
do.
saying? Now he got out of there.
It's
But
out.
now,
They're like, yo.
where
So
is
now
he
you know
at?
That's
where it's at.
crazy.
Exactly.
But the thing
Now
is,
he-
spiders are actually good because they kill other bugs in your home.
Yeah.
I better not have no other bugs in my home.
But there's bugs that are in your house, not like roaches and shit.
Them
like
little
that,
daddy
but,
long
like,
leggers. There's always
Yeah.
something.
there's
always something.
there's bugs like gnats,
yeah, true.
little shit that
Yeah.
flies.
Yeah.
They catch them, they eat them.
I
That's
don't
good
want that in
then.
my house.
Mosquito fly in your
Maybe
house.
The spider was protecting you. You thought it was out to get you.
So the
Let's
spider,
go with that.
the
but
spider
I-
went outside the house. It ain't there. You ain't
We're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I just need to know if they have eyeballs or not because I felt like it was watching me and I just did not feel comfortable. Right. And I put that song.
Yo,
on
that's
the
my
screen
jam.
when I put
That's my
that-
jam.
That's the
I don't
song
like the
I put
hook,
on
though.
there.
I don't like the hook. I don't like the hook. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I put that on there when I posted our snippet.
Oh, yeah, you
I put
did.
that song on there because that's exactly how I felt. Let's
It
see.
goes.
Let me see. Oh, hi, Ann. Hi, Mika. Hi, Toya. Let's see. Give the honor to God. Life change with Jesus. I don't know what Matt's talking about right there, but he's
Amen, man. Amen.
amen to that. That's all I was going to say. I don't know. Okay, yes.
I got a question about real estate.
So, yes, we're gonna
About
roll it back
commer-
in.
About commercial properties.
Okay.
That's what I reached out to
Yeah.
Chris. That's how we started
Mhm.
speaking.
Like, can you give some information on some background on it? I'm not really.
Do you
familiar
do
with-
commercial?
So commercial, I do help very slightly. If it's like a family friend or somebody that
Oh,
wants
okay.
to look for commercial space, I will help. But it's just different than the residential.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things more with like laws and
Right.
the
It is
contracts and stuff when you're buying
Zoning.
commercial real estate.
Zoning.
Yeah.
Zoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoning.
So like if you're looking for a spot, I can help you get the spot, like
Okay.
as your rental, or if you want to buy a building, I got you. But when it comes to buying a business, like so say you like this here is a building and they're selling it and you're buying the studio and the building, the studio paperwork might be separate than the building
building.
paperwork. So that's out of my scope of support.
Mm,
I'll refer it to a professional and let them handle it
okay.
like that.
Okay. Cool.
The big thing in real estate is we all have different lanes, right?
Mhm.
So the same with us. Like commercial, I can only do residential, so I'm only licensed to do residential.
So you would have to get licensed to deal in that.
So the
And
crazy
business
part
loans
is,
are just like crazy.
yeah.
Meaning like just harder.
Like harder?
Like,
Yeah, it's like it's not. I don't say harder, but it's a lot more work
okay.
to do than just buying a home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the lending side, you have to be licensed to do residential. You do not have to be licensed to do commercial.
Wow.
Say that one more time.
You have to be licensed to be a residential mortgage loan originator,
Okay.
but you do not have to be licensed to do lending on the commercial side.
I didn't
wow.
know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
I just learned that right now. I didn't
See?
know that.
You learn something new every
Covered.
day.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Thank you, Ricky.
Absolutely. Glad I could add some value.
Yes.
That's what we're here for.
That's
we're here
right.
for.
Just you being here added value. So let's go back to so people can buy a house or get a mortgage or get a loan through the bank for a mortgage with a credit score as low as 580 you've seen.
That's the lowest section, yes.
Now I asked the question about interest rates.
Mm.
Did I use that word correctly when I said interest rates? Like, is there interest on mortgage? You know, I'm thinking about
Yeah,
credit.
rates,
Yeah,
interest
so
rates.
it is.
yeah, you're right.
Oh, so there is interest rates when you
Yeah.
go to buy a home.
Correct. That's the
Now,
hottest topic.
if I had
Especially
a
now, right?
Yes,
With the-
right
It
now.
is.
Right
it's-
now-
We came
Yeah.
out of a season where, just in generalities, over the last 12 to 18 months,
Mhm.
interest rates were historically lower than they've ever been in the history of the United States.
because of COVID.
Yes.
I
could-
multiple factors. It's
Okay.
It's the
interest rates
economy.
yeah, it's
It's
tied
the
to the
economy.
economy. It's
Yeah.
tied to the economy. I
So-
get so many questions about what are
Yeah.
interest rates,
Yeah.
or are they going up or are they going down?
I think that's.
I and no other individual have any control over that.
Okay.
It's based on our economy and what's going on.
So right now they say we're going through a recession.
On
So-
the verge of a recession.
So on the verge of a recession.
So the biggest thing I get is, oh, I'm gonna wait until the interest rates go down,
Mm-hmm.
right? And with COVID hitting and everything, rates came at all-time low.
Right.
We might not see that again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I have clients that were like, hey, the prices of houses are too high, I'm going to wait. And by waiting,
Right.
they actually messed themselves up because the rates went up.
Mm-hmm.
The price of homes are staying consistent.
Because you never know what's gonna happen.
And now you could have bought a house at like 260. Now, or before you could have bought a house at like 300 something,
Mm-hmm.
and now you could only afford 260 because the rate went up.
Okay.
So
If the property of the value is not changing that much, so technically on the interest rate side, it would have been better if you bought a home in the past year to 18 months
Right.
versus waiting now, because that's what people wanted to wait, and what it did was the rates went up. So now what they could afford it last year, they can't afford now.
let me break that down a little bit.
Okay.
So the impact of the interest rate is going to drive your monthly payment up, right? So
Yep.
everybody looks at from the lending side of how I want to buy a $250,000, $300,000 house, but ultimately what it comes down to and how it's evaluated is what is your monthly payment and how does that weigh against your income? So it's called debt to income ratio,
Okay.
right? So
I've heard of that.
if you
before.
make $4,000, let's say you can borrow 50% of that, but that's your total debt load, right? So let's say you have no debt, no credit cards, no car, no student loans.
but then
can
you don't
call-
have a credit score either if you don't have any of that, right?
Well, no, you can have credit cards, but the balances can be down.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Or they're
Yeah.
paid off. right?
Okay.
And everything is in a positive. So if you make $4,000 a month gross,
Mm-hmm.
you can qualify for a $2,000
Clarify what gross is for someone who may be watching this and doesn't know what gross is.
So pre-tax,
Okay.
before Uncle Sam takes theirs,
Okay.
right? So what you
401k
earn
and all that stuff.
what you earn, your total income, yeah.
Yep.
But for the sake of easy math, if you make $4,000, you can borrow $2,000,
Mhm.
right? So the price of a $300,000 house with a 3% interest rate could have been $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
That same house with a 5.5% or 6% interest rate, maybe $2,000. So now the amount of house you can afford is completely different, right? And I always say, don't look at purchasing a home in terms of the price point. Look at it in terms of your monthly budget, right? Because that's how we operate.
Okay.
What can you afford? What are you comfortable with? You can tell me you want a $300,000 house, but depending on where it's at and what the taxes are and everything that goes into the payment, it's going to look different on the south side of Bethlehem than it is in Hanover Township, than it is in Easton, than it is in Forks or Palmer.
For sure.
So every house is different, but it's really about understanding, I always say, your threshold or appetite for that monthly payment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, oh man, I forget what I was gonna ask next. I think it was about the interest rates.
Well, what did you ask? What was a common question? What's a common issue that happens that you see like a lot of people come with, like that they encounter? I guess.
I mean, like stopping them from getting a house,
stops
or
them.
Uninformed buyers.
Oh, okay.
Uninformed buyers.
so you mean like they just don't know what they're doing, or they don't have like, oh go ahead, answer that.
So
Answer that,
so
because
you
I know
had
what
said
you're
it about something else, fact checking. So we hear from friends and family
For sure.
what their experience was like.
Okay.
We got to understand everybody's credit profile, everybody's bank account, everybody's job history is unique.
saying.
And I always say when I talk to somebody, I'm gonna talk to you about your unique situation,
Okay.
which may not be what your parents or your cousin
So
or
it
your
is
uncle.
different for everyone.
100%.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
So if you're like an independent contractor or like own a business,
Yeah,
you're paid differently than if I want to work every day and got a W-2.
right. Because you file taxes
Yep.
differently too. It's a what's the thing when they don't take taxes like out of your paycheck?
They won't take taxes at the end of the year, or if you pay quarterly,
Mm-hmm.
you pay it, and then at the end of the year when you file your taxes, you might be paid in and only owe a certain amount, or you might even get money back. Who knows?
Around income tax time, you guys find a lot of people trying to buy houses, like
Oh,
buy
yeah.
cars.
That's the smartest thing to do. Is like Bethlehem had a grant last year where they gave you 10% of your purchase price
That it?
to buy a home in Bethlehem,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to live there for 10 years.
Whoa.
Wow.
It was a FHA loan. Well, if like say you live there for 7 years and you decide to move or sell it, then they'll make you pay that 3 years like a prorated of the 3 years left.
What if you move someone else in and they just take over? Can you do that?
It's still because you can't rent it. Because the purpose of it is to give you money for you to live in the city of Bethlehem,
Okay.
to raise your family in
Now,
Bethlehem.
why do you think they were doing that? I mean, do you know why? Like, they wanted people to stay so long. 10 years is
It was
a
just
long
yeah,
time.
but that's part of the grant. They're giving you money. I had a client that bought a house. It was like $1,500 out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they had to pay.
$1,500?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
What
all
was
they
their
had to pay.
mortgage rate? Do you remember? Like,
At this time it was creeping already, so it was like in the fives, but
but still, that's
their mortgage was like
5,000 or 500. The house was five.
oh
What
no,
was five?
the house was I think like 160. The mortgage was like under 1,500,
Mm-hmm.
like 14 to 1,500 range, with taxes included.
Okay.
And
Now,
all they had to come out of pocket was $1,500.
if you've had overdraft fees or overdraft charges, I heard that banks go back a certain amount of years to see if you've had overdraft fees or something like that. Is that true?
Again, when you're filling out the app, we're gonna ask for 60 days.
60 days.
60
That's
days
it.
of base.
That's
I
it?
thought it was so much
I
more.
thought it was like
No.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years tax
Tax,
return.
okay, that's
Yeah.
what I was like. 2 years.
And it's
She does
not
taxes.
even even tax returns.
You do taxes?
Yeah, she does
Yeah.
taxes.
And I
Check her out.
was, yeah, the 2-year tax.
If you're a W-2 employee, it's not even tax returns. It's just the W-2.
Mhm.
I get so many people that send me their whole tax return. And I'm like, listen,
Yeah,
I just need the
just
stuff
the
that your employer
W2.
gave you. Yes.
So it's just
W2.
the okay, I'm coming. I want to buy a house.
Mhm.
My credit score is 700.
Mhm.
I make 4,000 a month.
You self-employed or you?
I'm employed. I'm employed.
But are you self-employed? You
Nope.
have your own
I'm
business.
nope,
You get
I'm
a
employed.
W-2.
I
Okay.
work. I get a paycheck. I have a pay stub. I make
Yep.
4,000 a month.
Yep.
I have a 700 credit score.
Yep.
And I give you 60 days of
Pay stubs.
Pay stubs.
Or I'm sorry, bank statements.
Bank
statements.
So what I always tell my clients, they want to get pre-approved.
Mhm.
I say, okay, we need your last 2 years of W-2s,
Yep.
a month of pay stubs,
Yep.
and your last 2 bank statements.
Yep.
Automatically send it to him,
Mm-hmm.
so when they already know what to send.
Okay.
Anything extra that he needs, he will tell them, they send them.
So when you get this stuff, you show the houses. He's in the background checking the financial aspect of this. He's going in with the numbers. He's gonna get back to you. Hey, they're approved for 350. This is what we're looking at. This is what they have. This might be what they need to tweak or whatever.
Yeah,
He's
for
giving you all that information.
The crazy part of how the industry works is most of the clients are going to go to a realtor first just because that's how they know it. They know I need a realtor.
I never would have even knew you existed if he didn't bring you up and say, "Hey, I want to bring my lender." I'm thinking, what the hell is that?
So once you contact Chris, he's gonna be like, Rick, I got Shonda. She wants to get approved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he'll give me your contact. He'll let you know, hey, I'm gonna put you in contact with Rick. We've worked together. We're trusted. We're gonna be your team on this home buying journey.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna help
I
you
can
fill out
only imagine that people are sometimes embarrassed to let someone get so personal with them.
But the thing is, I always tell my people, like, it's my real estate term, fiduciary responsibility to keep your information private.
Fiduciary?
Fiduciary.
Oh, fiduciary. Okay.
So I will never speak on your situation with her
Okay.
or vice versa.
Okay.
Right. So whatever you tell me is in confidence.
Right.
I'm here to, some realtors are out there to make a sale. I'm here to find you a home. That's the difference between me.
And that's what I was asking earlier. Would you be the type to just like, hey, I'm going to put you in this because it's a sell for you?
No,
That's what I was getting
I always keep it real with all my clients.
Yeah.
And you could go call all my clients for the past 3 years and they will tell you, I always tell them, like, once you come into a home that you want, you will feel it. You will feel it in your soul, like, wow, this is the house, right? And say there's something that you don't like a little thing about the kitchen. Move on. Don't sit there and dwell on it. Because I don't want to sell you a home where your kitchen aggravates you.
Yeah.
And you can be like, oh, I bought this fucking house and the kitchen's whack.
Chris told me this house. And that's what it's going to be.
So I'll be like, yo,
purchase.
I would tell you, like, go with your gut instinct. If you don't like that, we'll move on. Don't even think about it no more. Let's keep it moving. Like, I will show you 20 houses.
I wouldn't have thought
out of those 20 houses, one you will love. And when you love that house, you will feel it. So, like, all right, this is the house for you. God can't take away what's for you. You know what I mean? So I'm a firm believer of that. And then I'll just do what I got to do.
Will be for you.
Yep.
And I said this earlier. Good.
Yeah. No.
It's relational, right? So even the bank statements, pay stubs, all of that, he's not going to see that. All that just comes to me, right? I'm going to let him know, hey, they qualify for this. This is where we're at. But yeah, there has to be trust and vulnerability throughout that process, right?
Absolutely.
But you have to understand that, and that we do this all the time, and we're not here to judge, we're here to help, right? And if you truly...
How often do you run across that though? So this comes into like more of the personal aspect of things and just the way life goes. People come across relationships where maybe they just don't trust as well. You know what I mean? When you're coming to a stranger at this point. So that's what makes it harder for people to come to someone like yourself. And then say like, hey, I had this, or I had a bankruptcy, or my credit, I fell on hard times, and this happened. Like for myself, I'll speak personally right now. When I came to you about opening a business, that business failed, but it put a dent in my credit because a lot of things I put on credit, I wasn't able to pay back that I thought I was going to be able to do. You know what I mean? So I come to you like, hey, I may be embarrassed. I don't know if that's the right word I want to use, but I may be looking down on myself or feeling some type of way because everything's not A1.
Everybody goes through trials and tribulations.
Right. We've all been through something, right? If you've lived long enough, you've been through something.
Yeah, absolutely. In this day and age, social media, whatever, everybody's perfect.
Which is nonsense. I say this.
It's a fake world.
Right.
Yeah.
Like...
I'll say this. I got a best friend who was 10 and a half, 11 years in federal prison. College educated, one of the smartest dudes I know. And the way that him going through that situation taught me was everybody's been through something. Everybody's done something wrong. Some people get caught and have to pay the consequence, and some of us haven't. But at the end of the day, all of that should humble us and remind us that, listen, it's just somebody that maybe we were in their position, and it's our job to help. Right? So always say this, no matter what your circumstances are, if we don't know about it, we can't help you work through it. So I always say, it's my job to pre-approve you, but if there's hurdles, I'm gonna let you know there's hurdles.
Yeah.
Meaning, if we can't do it right now, cool. But we're gonna be here along that process. If your
It's the
credit
bounce
ain't where it
back.
needs to be,
It's the bounce back.
Yeah.
I got a credit repair person, right? We're gonna hook you up with that.
That's hot.
If you ain't got the cash, then we're gonna look at down payment assistance program. We're gonna see what options are available.
Every situation is different.
Yeah.
If it's a job situation,
Like that.
listen, you gotta wait 6 months. But guess what? I'm gonna call you in 3, and I'm gonna see where you're at.
How
That's
do you
hard.
guys work through that? Because you have to deal with people on a personal level. So it gets a little emotional sometimes, you know. So you're not a counselor, but a little bit of a therapist, you know, because you have to deal with people mentally. You know what I mean? So
No, for
how
sure.
do you work through that, you know, with dealing with people?
Listen, I was raised in a household full of women, right? So my mom, cousins, sisters, you know. So I was always the youngest one.
Mm-hmm.
I always learned patience at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 9 years old with a bunch of teenage women.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I seen the hormones. I learned patience early.
Yeah.
So it helped me
Exactly.
out in life
Mhm.
because now it's like clients like want to jump off, like not literally jump off a bridge, but they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is it. I'm done.
Right,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm used to it." Like, all right, like let's take a moment.
Yeah.
Mm.
Take back step. Look at the brighter picture.
Yeah.
Right. This is the goal. We're gonna get to that goal.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm just like I said, I learned patience early, so
And it's good that
Cool.
you two have such a strong, long history. I guess I should say. I don't know
Yeah,
how
for sure.
strong your relationship is,
Right.
but at least a working relationship where you can, you know him and you know him.
even
you know.
before a working relationship, we were always cool.
So
For
that
sure.
must make it a lot easier. Do you
Yeah.
see that in your industry? A lot of people have that. What you guys have this dynamic where you know they're able to be that close and work together that way.
I don't know.
I think the importance is there. I don't think so. Obviously, our relationship is unique. I don't think most people have what we have,
Mhm.
but I think if a lender and a realtor don't have a relationship, then they're doing their clients a disservice. Meaning outside
Sure.
of business,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, again, we're that support team. So we gotta play off of each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, if we gotta break bad news or there's a challenge through the process, we gotta work through it together. Maybe they're
And
gonna
that's
share
the
something
thing.
in.
Like there's certain times that like some fucked up shit will happen. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
Like say some shit happens,
First
right?
time here.
And it's like, damn, like this is fucked up.
Mm.
Like, all right, well listen, this is what we gotta do to get it done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. Like he holds me accountable.
Right.
I hold him accountable.
Mhm.
Like, all right, cool, let's get it done.
Yeah.
We'll get it done. And the client might not even know about it. Because we're taking the burden of the stress.
Yeah.
Because it's stressful enough
Right.
to find a home that you want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, not let me call them and tell them this is happening right now.
Yeah.
Let's fix it first. And then it'll be like, okay, we had this hurdle and we got through it. So we're back on track,
Yeah.
ready to go.
Okay.
And
We could work through it behind the scenes. Ain't no point in bringing
Yeah.
that to the forefront.
Right.
Right.
Why bring something up that's a non-issue we've already resolved? Right?
Absolutely.
but and that's something we face all the time.
So a process, maybe from start to finish, what's the average amount of time it takes to start with buying a home to closing on a home? Is there an average time? Like, do you see like there's like a 30-day turnaround, or sometimes it takes like
Normally, if the house is under agreement, you can get it closed in 30 days.
okay.
But to get that house under agreement in this market, it varies.
Yeah. So it's a crazy process. He's gonna, let's say they come to him first. He's gonna have a consultation with them and kind of figure out where they're at and how ready they are
Yeah.
and what they need, what the current situation is. Then let's say they're ready to go. He refers them to me. If they're qualified, I can do my job in 24 to 48 hours. After they
Okay.
fill out the app and give
Yeah.
me all my docs, then I pass it back to him. And then they're pre-approved, so he's trusting that I'm saying, once they get under contract, right? My shirt says clear to close. We're gonna get to
I
the
like
table.
that. Yeah.
We're gonna get to the
Check
table.
out too.
Yeah.
Oh, I noticed his name.
Yeah.
I definitely did.
What
I
does
I'll
it
bring
say?
it. What size hoodies are y'all?
Large, please.
Large?
Thank you.
Medium.
All right, I'll
What
bring
does
you
it say
some
under
hoodies.
your name though?
Oh, everything I touch turns to soul.
Ooh.
I love that.
That's my slogan.
I love that. Those are hot.
Yeah.
And y'all realtors in the valley gonna be stealing my shit.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Okay, that's right.
So he's trusting me. The client's trusting me.
Mm-hmm.
The listing agent.
Yes.
The seller's trusting that once our
Yes.
client,
Yeah.
our mutual client, makes the offer, they're in the contract, that it's going to be good. I've already done all my due diligence. I've checked their bank statements. I've educated them. They're good. They're solid, right?
Yeah.
Unless they do something that we've advised them not to do, which we can't control.
Like buying a car before closing.
No.
That's
no.
one.
Okay.
But and this is the importance. Like people think. I always tell my clients using a local lender is the best because me and Rick have a relationship, so it's easy. situation. Hey, the client's this, need that.
Right.
I can call him. When you use the major banks like PNC, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, you're not speaking to the same person.
Okay.
You're always talking to somebody in customer service that don't know the situation, and you got to wait on hold, and they give pre-approvals to you that you might not. I ran into this early in the game. It was a Wells Fargo's bank. They gave my client a pre-approval for $200K.
Okay.
We go searching for $200K. We get the house under agreement. Then they're like, oh, we didn't verify the documents. So now they're only really available to purchase the house $140K. That's $60,000 difference.
Why did they verify the documents?
They just pump out pre-approvals just to get clients.
So there's there's pre-qualification and a pre-approval. Pre-qual is I'm gonna take a phone conversation or whatever you filled out on the app, and I'm gonna take your word. I'm not gonna verify.
They check. Okay, your credit checks out.
Right.
They don't check.
They don't check it.
The W-2s, how much you make. So that's what I learned early is use a local bank because they'll, especially Ricky gives me the real, all right, and they're ready to go.
Although I work for my city and he works for Iron Valley, it's our own individual business, right? My name and my reputation is on the line.
Iron Valley.
So when I say yes, if that deal falls through because of something I did or didn't do, now that listing agent's never going to accept one of my offers again. Now Chris might not work with me no more. Now my clients are going to tell their friends.
Your
and
name
family.
is your bond. Like you
for sure.
your word.
Yeah.
Your name is your bond. Yeah.
In this industry, for sure.
Yeah.
Reputation is everything.
It's everything. Yeah. Because once you cross one person, the word of mouth is everything. Once they start putting that out there,
Google and they'll get the bad reviews.
That's why I learned.
I'm a 5-star man on Google, so.
Okay, I'm gonna look him up.
Shout out to Google.
I'm gonna look him up. So I need to make sure. Let me fact check that, y'all.
Fact check it.
But if you got bad news to present, it's better to do it up front, right? I had a similar client a couple weeks ago, Rocket Mortgage, notorious for not verifying. Told the client, you qualify for $300,000.
You said Rocket Mortgage is what? Say it again.
Notorious
for not verifying. Y'all heard it here.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you call them, like Chris said, you're gonna get somebody different every time. You're never gonna get the same person.
Okay.
You call me Monday through Sunday, 9 to 10, you gonna get me. Or I'm gonna hit you with, I'll call you right back on call, or I'm in the middle of something. Yeah. But I'm always gonna get back to you. And me directly. My personal cell phone number is how I operate my business. But yeah, there's so much value in understanding the reputation and everything that's on the line, our credibility. In what we do.
Yeah, for sure.
Dope. So, both of you own your own homes.
Yes.
Are you guys in the Airbnb game at all?
Y'all flip houses?
Yeah,
no.
flip houses.
No.
I actually was thinking to get into that, but
into
I
what?
feel like
Flipping homes on Airbnb. Okay.
Because now the way the market is right now is you can't get a good deal on a flip.
Yeah. Why?
Everyone's
Why can't you get a good...
Because
everybody's doing it now. So I feel like it became oversaturated. Everybody started to get into it, so they noticed that. And now it's not what it was before. People were buying foreclosed homes or what have you.
And inventory.
And that's
inventory.
The foreclosed homes. Yeah. That's another question I get. People are like, hey, I'm a first-time home buyer. Can I buy a foreclosure or a fixer-upper? Yeah. And it's like people think that they can buy the home that they need to fix up with an FHA mortgage, and you can't. No. Why? Because it has to go through an FHA inspection. Okay. And if the house is not livable and up to their standards, they can't buy it. Exactly.
So
unless it's a rental loan, there's a renovation loan.
Yeah, the 203K loan.
Unless it's a rental.
Renovation loan.
Renovation loan. Okay, so if you want to buy it, you have to purchase it in the form that you want to renovate it. But wouldn't that be the idea anyway? If you're buying it, you're going to renovate it.
So the thing is with the 203K loan, it's a little different. Oh, actually, he can explain that.
Yeah. So 203K is, let's say you purchase it for 150. You know it needs 50,000 in repairs, but afterwards it's going to be worth 250. Okay. So the bank will let you borrow that 50,000 for renovations. Okay. It has to be your primary residence. You have to have a licensed and bonded contractor. You can't do your own work. It can't be a friend or family. You can't do your own work. No.
What if I just like to shop at Lowe's and go to Home Depot and do stuff like that?
It has to be a licensed and bonded contract.
Yeah.
It takes the risk out of it. But that's a loan option. But it's not too common. But it's an option depending on what the market is like and what the inventory is that's available. But what Chris was saying about FHA, a traditional FHA loan is there's higher safety and security inspections or part of the appraisal to make sure that there's railings, no chip paint, things of that nature. Make sure the house is livable.
So foreclosures are not as simple as they sound. When people are like, oh, go to the courthouse, get the listing, you can get you a foreclosure.
See, but those you can't get a loan to buy those.
You can't get a loan.
No.
You
have
have
to buy
to.
those
That ball is cash. Oh, okay.
You got to know if there's a lien on the property. Like, there's a lot.
So if there's a lien on the
to it.
property, what does that mean?
You entail their debt.
When you purchase that property, you got to pay that debt.
What they owe?
Yes.
I thought I was just picking up the tail end. Like,
Yeah, me too.
So say this house right here, right? This building we buy, and they owe like 14 G's in taxes, right? We go buy it, me and Rick, like, hey, let's go buy the building. We go buy the building. Then we find out that there's still a mortgage for $100,000.
Now we inherited that.
Now we have to pay that.
We bought that debt.
Oh, okay.
you have to pick up all
I
of
didn't
that.
know
So
that.
it's like just rebuying the house and
Yeah,
that
that's
they didn't.
So this you got to do your due diligence.
Right.
Well, you
No,
gotta
there is
do
a
your
benefit.
research. You got to make sure.
Yeah, but even if you do your
okay.
research still,
Okay,
what's
gotcha.
the
So if you buy the house, if it's free and
There's not
clear,
that much
owed on it?
then
Then
it's to come up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to weigh it and make sure it's still a value, right? Because you may owe $5K, or you
Yeah.
could owe $50K, or $150K,
Yeah.
and if you're comfortable with that debt on top of your purchase
and
price,
all that is public
no,
information.
you're probably gonna have to pay a title company to do a title search on that.
How much is something like that? If you pay a company to have to
probably a
get the
couple
information?
$100.
Yeah.
Couple $100. So you're gonna come out of pocket a little bit. You know, I've always thought to myself, oh yeah, I'll go get a foreclosure. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, and go flip that
Flip
thing.
it. I would flip it.
And make it, you know, to make the process sound so simple when you hear people talk about it, like it's so easy. Go get
Yeah.
you a foreclosure, spend, $4,000 because that's probably all they owe, and then go from
So
there.
you see that a lot. They'll be like, all right, they owe like $6K in taxes.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy that building.
Mhm.
And then when you find out that they still have a $200,000 mortgage, so that 4K is not only that's what they just owe in taxes.
So let me get this right. If you own a house and I have a mortgage, let's say me, I have a house, I have a mortgage, but outside of the mortgage, I have taxes to pay. When someone pays a mortgage, the taxes are included in their mortgage, or is that separate, or do you guys normally lump that together?
Well, normally we lump it together. Yeah, for sure.
So how do people end up owing more taxes and not mortgage? Does that happen?
It does.
It does.
Typically, it's when the taxes and insurance are tied in. It's called escrow.
Okay.
Meaning it's all tied in. It's a single payment. You don't have to escrow.
So that's a choice you make.
It is a choice. But
Okay.
The majority of people escrow. It's one payment. The bank
So
will
you
make
ain't
the
gotta worry
payments to
about
the
it.
insurance company, to the tax man. You don't got to worry about any of that. But I think people get in over their head, right? So I know some folks that own the property outright, but just didn't pay taxes. You know what I mean? Because they didn't have a mortgage no more. They were used to it being automatic, but then
that they don't pay it.
yeah, a family emergency, something comes up, COVID happens,
Yeah.
you can't afford it no more.
I found
There's
out
a lot
about
of
that
things.
recently, that there, your house can get taken if you're not.
Paying taxes. Yeah.
It's like, I own this house, and you guys are like taking it for taxes. The government is something else.
Right.
Like,
And
So even when you own it, you still paying something.
right, you still
You're
don't own
paying
it.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
you could still snatch it from
Yeah.
me, and that's
you're gonna be
crazy
paying
to me.
until you die. You're gonna be paying on something.
How involved, in your positions, do you guys get involved? How involved do you normally get? Do you find that sometimes you get more involved with the process, or with a party or person that you might, it might tug on you a little bit differently, where you really you want to help a family or a person, or, a family member, whatever. How involved? Do you guys have boundaries? Do you have a line that you draw somewhere? Because I know you have to reach situations where you're like, damn, I really want to help them. I really want to help him. I really want to help her. Do you guys have that
Like, you
line
go
where
beyond the
yeah.
way you
Oh,
just
I
pay
always
everything.
go beyond. Like, there's times I took a pay cut
Mhm.
to get my client their house.
Yeah.
There's times that I paid for repairs out of my own pocket
Wow.
to make sure they were closed, and it's it's the cost of doing business.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to
Yeah, man.
Chris. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the cost of doing business. At the end of the day, I want you to be happy with my service. And
Mm-hmm.
if I got to take a pay cut, cool. I'm not losing sleep over it. My family's taken care of. Like, it all works itself out
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's dope. How about you, Rick?
It's relational, not transactional. So the way I look at it is, I'm willing and able, as long as I'm able to, I'm willing to help anybody I can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I've also learned that that's somewhat detrimental because the client has to be willing to do their part,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So if I send you to a credit specialist,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't follow up or you don't do what you need to do,
Yeah.
I'm limited, right? My hands
Right.
are tied at that
Yeah,
point.
because you could lead them to the water, but you can't make them
Right.
drink it.
His situation is a little different than mine.
Absolutely,
For sure,
I do
yeah.
believe that because he's more on the back end. You're more the front end.
Yes.
If I'm correct,
Yeah,
right?
no,
So
100%.
yeah, that makes it a little bit more. You're more personal
Yeah.
with them. You get more of that conversation.
They're
And
riding in
you
the
get-
car, looking at houses,
Exactly.
spending that one-on-one time.
One-on-one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
not riding my car,
What's-
Coldfield, crazy. I'm joking.
I'll meet you
Just
there.
kidding, just
I'll
kidding.
meet you there.
If you need a ride, I'll give you a ride to go look at a show.
Don't let him
Hit him
Now he's
up and
talking
I'll
now.
We gotta drop your.
No, I had one client. She was a single mom,
Yeah.
and she would take Ubers to meet me.
Oh my God.
And I was like, the one time we were out like in Parkland, like all the way by the middle school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you want to ride?
Mm.
And she was like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, I felt bad because she was with her 2 young kids, and she called the Uber, but
Yeah.
Listen, we got some pride. Men, y'all think y'all got pride?
Yeah.
Women, especially
Same
single
way.
with kids, like, and we've been in these tough situations.
Mhm.
We have pride. Like, we will just exactly what she
But
did.
it, but it ain't for nobody to do by themselves. I said that earlier.
It's not.
You need
But
everybody.
when
just
you've been
Everybody needs
conditioned,
some- Yeah.
Right. Right.
you've been conditioned that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just felt
Yeah.
that. Like,
Right.
she said no, and I'm pretty sure
and
It
she
was
had
better-
ambition, and she bought a house.
she
and
bought the house.
she-
That's awesome.
Not that house, but she bought another.
But she
house.
bought a
That's
house.
dope.
At least she got the house.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
shout out to her. Shout out to her for that house. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
That's dope.
I love happy endings. You know what I mean? I am a sap. I'm a sucker when it comes to stuff like that. Like I got my crazy ways, but I swear, like I love love and I love a good
Happy ending. Shout out to happy
Yes,
endings.
shout out to happy endings. I'm telling you, like
That's closing day.
Everything you
Yeah.
touch turns.
Yeah.
What is everything?
Turns to soul.
There you go. That's
Hey.
a happy ending. Hashtag happy
you
ending.
know,
There
how
we
many
go.
programs are there out there for people? What programs are available to people in the inner city, or they may not make as much, or may not have had the best bank account history? Are there a lot of programs out there that help people in these situations besides a person who helps your credit, or gets you in a credit program?
It's situational. Like sometimes, like cities will have certain grants
Mm-hmm.
that will help with cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
Like say you want to buy a house, and it's like I don't have all the money for the down payment,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll give you grants. And there's PFHA,
Yep.
which is a program that.
How hard is it to get a grant?
So basically, most grants are credit based.
Yeah.
So
Everything is credit based.
It is.
Credit is important, guys. Credit is
But-
important.
Let me say this because there's a stigma out there that there's free money to be had, and the reality is this: even the down payment assistance programs
Yeah.
may not be the best program for all
Sure.
individuals.
Why not?
And I say that because there's that caveat of essentially you're tied to that property for 10 years,
Mhm.
right? You can't move or
Most
refinance.
programs Operate like that. 10 years. They
Most
want
down
you-
payment assistance
Yeah.
programs.
Okay.
So it's usually a forgivable loan. They forgive 10% every year.
Mhm.
So if there's a portion that's left on that balance when you move or
Mhm.
try to refi, you end up having to pay it.
pay-
And then
So
the other thing
you
is
said 10% is forgiven every year.
correct.
Is
So
that
10,
so? 10 becomes 20. 20 becomes 30. Okay.
correct.
All right.
And then the other thing is they traditionally have higher interest rates and have credit requirements.
High interest rates is like bank robbery. like,
But that's
like,
the thing.
well,
So
that's like
you pay less up front, but you pay more over the life of the loan.
Exactly.
People
Like,
don't get that though. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. And what I say is, talk to a lender. You talk to me. You talk to anybody else, right? Because I may not be
how
for
do people
everybody.
know about you though? So the realtor,
Yeah.
front line, everybody knows about a realtor.
Right.
You know.
My friends and family know who I am and what I do for the most part.
Exactly. So
Right.
how do you put yourself out there? Because people don't know about you, especially someone like me. When he said a lender, I had no idea what you did, what that meant at all.
he's the
But I knew you
unsung
had,
hero.
right. I knew
For
you
sure.
had to be
Appreciate
important
that.
because he said I want to bring him. So I'm like, okay, he's a key factor to the process.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would have never known that.
Right.
So that means there's other people like me who don't know that. You know what I mean? So how do you get what you do out there, and so you're more familiar like a realtor?
Mhm.
Right. So a lot of it is us lenders connecting with realtors, right, and adding value. But the reality is everybody wants something different in a relationship or values something different.
Right.
So it's about getting in front of realtors. It's about understanding who they are
Mhm.
and vetting that and seeing if there's some commonality,
Mhm.
right? If there's a bond that's going to help us be a dynamic duo, and be effective for our clients. The other thing is adding value to each transaction, right? Making an impression on every client that I get in front of, whether we close the deal, whether they're work in progress, just being impressionable to everybody that I meet, right?
Absolutely.
And be true to who I am.
I think it's important to get your name out there and being a part of different events. Are you guys like a part of different programs or different things happening in the community?
How do you like yourself out there?
Like how are you promoting yourself outside of people knowing you and doing what you just said? Because I think it's important for like in our communities for these young kids, like how you're a coach,
Right.
you're involved with what they do. We need more of that. We're growing up, let's say 12 years old, you know what it is or to buy a house. You understand what that means, that you don't just go into a house and someone could just kick you out, or what credit means and what a lender is. Like, this is something you could aspire to be. How do we get that to be more normal? How do we bring that into the household? How do we get this into the communities to make this more normal? How do we make that happen?
That's just conversations happening. Like my freshman team, when I first met them, it's last March in the weight room. I'm asking them like, you know what credit is?
Yeah.
They're like,
So you
credit.
talk to them about that.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
super dope.
like,
Yeah.
what's credit? They're
That's
like,
dope.
what? I'm like, well, if you want to buy something like a house or a car, you need credit. And it was funny because I had a parent reach out to me. It was like, hey, it's like my son came home and asked me what my credit score was, and they were like, it's pretty dope that you actually had that conversation with them, because they would have never thought to have that with them.
Yeah.
So it's just a conversation, because us, where we come from, I grew up in the projects. Like, we didn't have much money.
Right.
We were always taught cash was king.
And
all
put your money in the bank.
Yeah.
Keep it under
Right.
the mat.
Yeah, keep it on the mat. And
All that
in all
jazz.
reality,
Like,
is we were
so
always
forth.
we
I
were
learned
taught
that,
the
like,
wrong.
Last year.
Okay.
I'm in my 30s.
Exactly.
And I just learned that.
Right.
We were taught wrong, and it's just having a conversation and teaching them.
And it's not that. Let me just correct that, because you don't want anybody to feel any type of way. It's not that you were taught wrong. Maybe your family just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really just what you were taught, what they were taught. It's generational. So, and that's why we want to have these conversations, because we want to broaden the horizon. We want to open these doors. We want to make it known. We want to make it like a regular conversation. Just make it feel normal. Having these conversations, sometimes you feel like the outcast. Like, you're just like, you're outnumbered, because nobody wants to listen, nobody wants to hear it, nobody understands it.
Right.
But that's because it's foreign. So that's why we say accept different. So when it's different, we want to bring those different conversations. We want to.
But it's paying it forward, right? It's
For sure.
obviously
Right.
talking to somebody who's willing to pay it forward and speak with humility and not talk too crazy.
Right.
Charge
and
you
do
for
it.
information.
Yeah, and
You
do
know,
it.
that's the big thing right now.
Yeah.
So
They charge you to
Everything was a class.
I do home buy seminars here and there.
It's becoming more common.
I had
now.
one last year,
Common,
and it just that's what we should do.
You put those together yourself.
you should.
No,
You should.
and that's why I'm putting it out there, because I'm saying, let's make these things happen.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
shout
mean?
out to y'all for having us, right?
Yeah,
so
word,
I'm
thanks,
gonna tell you, Chris said he's a salesman, right? I'm not really a salesman, so there's opportunity for me to put myself out there. It's not really what I do. I'm a very old soul. I like to work, go home, do what I do, stick to my routine.
Yes.
I'm very very consistent when it comes to that. But the opportunity is there, and I always, like, when I think about it, it's anybody who buys a house that needs a mortgage, why shouldn't they do business with me? And the reality is, I know, maybe I don't know as much, but I'm willing to work as hard as anybody. And if I don't know the answers, I got a team of people that can get me the answers.
Real quick, I want you guys to just put your information out there, how you would like to be contacted if someone needed to reach you, and then I want you to do the same thing. I want people to be able to know how to reach you guys if need be. So
you could reach me on Facebook, Chris Avila,
what's my
or
last name?
AVILA, or you could go chrisavila.com. It's my website, and you could put your information in there, get my contact info. I'm easy to catch.
Simple.
Catch me in
Catch
the
him on
streets.
Facebook. Catch him outside.
Catch me outside.
How about that?
Catch him on SipNlips. How about that?
Yeah.
So for me, it would be Instagram. It's at Borrow with Butler. Obviously Ricky Butler with My City Mortgage.
Can you spell that out? I'm just
Yeah,
trying.
no.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I believe it's BORROWITBUTLER is Borrow with Butler. So there's only one W, not twos.
Want to make sure you're found.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
And yeah, listen,
Yeah.
my information is there. Search me, Google me, Facebook me, whatever the case may be.
And if you go to any Liberty football games, home games, we're in the program.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
go to the hut, buy a
I'm
program.
at the game
I'm coming tomorrow. I already said I was going to my
the
nephew's
game
game tomorrow. So
3:30. Yep.
yeah, at Becca,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
We turning up.
Yeah, we'll be there.
My squad, we get lit.
I'm there for Liberty. Okay.
I'm just there to support because I don't know
You
about
were she's with Liberty. She doesn't know it, but she's with Liberty.
I'm like, woo, when they're losing.
She's with Liberty's team. She doesn't have a choice.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry,
that's
but
it.
I got a question for y'all.
Sure.
Are y'all homeowners?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Is
I
that a
rent.
goal?
Yeah.
Is that a what?
A goal.
Yeah.
Eventually. For me, no, not right now. All right. So originally, years ago, I said I would wait to get married to buy a home.
Okay.
I recently came out of an engagement, and I thought I was going to go towards that goal, right?
Okay.
But that didn't happen. I'm afraid to be in a home on my own because if something would not work, need to be fixed, like,
That's something else that people get so scared of.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what if something breaks in my house and I don't got the money to
you
fix
gotta
it?
take care of that.
So-
I'm not about that life.
The reality is there's something that's gonna go wrong.
What if y'all
That's
backed
the
up?
obvious.
Plumbing issues.
Okay.
But people
That
think
is
it's way
scary.
more than what it really is.
Yeah.
Like when I bought my home, my water heater went in like 3 months,
Yeah.
and I paid $400 some for a water heater and get it installed.
Okay. Flip side, I had a girlfriend bought a house, single mother, and I mean, she had so many problems that went on. Like she was like, I gotta get this fixed. I gotta get this fixed. You know, and I mean, 400, 600, 300, 200. That all adds up when you are a single
For sure.
parent, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, ooh, you know, that scared me.
So there's different situations. If you get a FHA mortgage, they do that appraisal that makes sure the house is good.
Mm-hmm.
You have inspections
Right.
that you can have. So say you get an inspection, the roof is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
You can
You
tell
tell-
it up front.
You tell the seller, like, listen, either A, you fix the roof, or give me the money to fix the roof, or we out.
Okay.
And that's where I go and negotiate.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen, like, the roof is shot. Here's the proof. This is the quote that we get in. Can you give us this much and credit towards it, or fix it before
Yeah.
closing?
And the relationship isn't done at the closing table either, right? Like,
Yeah.
and this is
Oh, it
more for
goes-
him than me. Let's say you bought the house with Chris, and a year later something happens. You think he don't got contractors he can put you in contact
No.
with, a plumber, HVAC guy? So
Connection.
that relationship
I
continues.
I tell
He's-
people,
He's your real estate expert for all things.
The real estate expert. That is his new title, guys. The real estate expert.
I like that.
Shout out to
Eric.
Ricky.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
He gets it.
Okay.
Yes,
One-stop shop.
yes.
and that's what I like to use, the one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Because we got the lender and the realtor combo.
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. Y'all are like a...
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
always
yeah.
have clients that reach out to me like months or years after they.
Do you have any advice for us? Well, I want to potentially buy like within the next... Well, I say 2 years, but maybe a year.
Let me give y'all a fact from the lending side. So most people that retire, 83% of the people that retire, their retirement or nest egg is in the equity of their home.
It's in the equity of
In
their
the equity of their home. So most people see purchasing a home as buying a house, right, for shelter. But the reality is it's an investment,
It's an investment.
right?
Yeah.
Whether you live in it
Yeah.
or somebody else lives in it,
Yeah.
you're paying interest, yes, you're paying it, but you're paying somebody else's mortgage, whether you have the house or not.
So that
right?
brings me to what my next question was going to be. Do you feel it's better to rent or buy? And clearly,
Depending on your situation.
Yeah.
So not everybody is prepared to buy today.
right.
But if you're not ready today, you should be working towards it. That's my thought process.
You should
Like,
be
you should-
working.
You should
definitely
be
be working to buy a
actively
house.
working. It should be a goal to me. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
American
for sure.
dream.
Yeah.
That's the American dream.
Why? When they can snatch it from you.
Not if you know.
I hate to be so. You know what I'm just saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Because there's value in it.
Yeah.
It's an investment as much as there's anything else.
okay.
So you're gonna pay 9 times out of 10 less in a mortgage than you'll pay for rent for the same home.
Yes.
And there's safety and security in owning a home as well, right?
What's
so
the
your
safety
land-
and security? Lay it out for me.
So your landlord's not going to pick up the phone. Your lease expires June 30th, and call you on June 1st and say, "Listen, I'm raising the rent $200-$300."
Yeah.
I've received
Oh,
That's
but
the
that
big thing.
definitely
That's a big
happened.
thing
Yeah.
right now. That's where everybody's running to go buy houses
Yeah.
right
Yes.
here because of the change in the
Yeah, but
rent.
they want
Right, yeah.
people
Yeah.
want to call
Sure,
30-day notice. I need to be out in 30 days. That's
Yeah.
not enough time.
It's not.
It's not enough time for the process.
There
So
wasn't even places for people to move when
Right.
they were looking for places
Right.
to move, and that's crazy to me.
be
Different
ready.
families were displaced and didn't have anywhere to live,
Yes.
like during this time. Like that's crazy to me. I've been in the house I live in now like 10 years. I don't have a lease, you know what I mean? It was the first year and that was it.
Right,
You know what I
month to
mean?
month. But ain't nothing stopping your landlord from raising the rent.
Nothing. I mean,
Each
they
and
did.
every
They
year.
did. They
Yeah.
raised it on. I mean, it was $100, but still was raised. You know what I mean? So I'm just so comfortable and
That's
you know
the
where
trap.
I'm
No,
at.
so at least you're fortunate to have a good landlord.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. A lot of people get these landlords that are like slumlords
Yeah.
and just are there for the money and not take care of the home.
Right.
I think that you should think about what he said. Though it's an investment.
Right. I
That
mean,
part.
I do see it like
It is.
that.
You don't have to be ready today.
You don't
Yeah.
have-
But
yeah.
make sure your credit is right. Make sure you got some money in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make
Yeah.
sure you're,
So
if you choose to,
yes.
you can.
Yeah, that was the
That's
thing I was going to say to you about the credit. I do want to speak to your credit guy because, like I was saying to him when I reached out to Chris, my business did fail.
Yeah.
So I want to repair some things that I did damage, you know, to get back to where I was at. You know what I mean? So I would like to take care of that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fix your credit, guys.
No,
For sure.
absolutely.
Fix your credit. It's important. Everything
Credit.
is everything is credit. Like
Credit.
everything is
Having
credit.
bad credit is going
Credit
to cost you
is-
one
Yeah.
form or another. You said interest.
Yeah.
Everything has interest.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you more than it should.
Credit.
Yes. You know, use it to your advantage. You know, because
Exactly.
that's what they
It's a
say.
tool.
You know, you borrow, you get all these perks from it. You know what I mean? And then you be able to use those.
Get
so
cash
it's like
back.
get-
You get good credit, you go
Like-
to a bank, they give you what you want.
everything. You go buy a car. I want leather. I want this. I want. You
Yeah.
know, that's how you do it.
Make sure it's in the budget.
Yeah.
Make sure it's
Make sure
in
it's
the
in the
budget.
budget.
Right.
You ain't living outside your means. That's important.
I ain't trying to
We'll
look
talk
good.
about that next.
Right, we'll talk about that next. And you know what? I like that you touched on a male's point of view as far as, and this is going off of the whole real estate thing.
Mhm.
Just what's expected of a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. And that's something I want to talk about too. So you guys look out for that topic coming because we do want to talk on conversations like that. You know what I mean? You guys grew up and like you being raised, you said, with a lot of females. You know what I mean? So the bringing up and being around different aspects of it, it teaches you different things coming up.
Sure.
You know, don't cry, don't feel, don't love, don't
Right.
care. You know, that type of thing. And then you get into these relationships and women are looking at you like, well, why are you acting like that? You know what I mean? Like,
I like what he
Who's
said.
this
Is dope, though.
motherfucker?
How he said, like, you know, you want to give love, but somebody you need
You
one.
have to.
You have to have at least one person.
If you don't
Yeah.
recognize that you need love, you're broken.
yeah,
That is a-
absolutely.
No, for sure.
You know,
For sure.
That is a
That
fact.
is true.
Because maybe you're not accustomed to it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's foreign.
Yeah.
But when you
at least
receive
need
true,
one
genuine
person.
love,
Yeah.
man,
But
it makes you your best version of yourself.
you said you watched, your parents have been married.
Mhm.
You've seen nothing but that.
Yeah.
Them being married. I mean, I'm pretty sure they had their, you know, whatever, because
Yeah.
relationships are not
Yeah.
always perfect. So you've seen
The good
unity.
and the bad.
Yeah,
The good and the
but
bad.
you still seen a relationship that worked and
100%.
stuck through those bad times. You know what I mean? So
The trials and tribulations.
My
exactly.
parents will cuss each other out, but if you say something bad about either one of them, you in trouble.
Amen to that. I love a relationship like that. Yeah. Listen, I say what I want, but you can't say
Right.
that.
That's how they
that
talk
works.
to each other. You
Yes.
talk to them like that.
We gotta bring them back for a personal.
Yeah, I would love to have y'all back. Would
You
you feel
know,
comfortable
we gotta-
to talk about
For
relationship?
sure.
Chris, are you married?
Especially
No,
when
I'm
you're
engaged.
You're engaged.
I'll be
okay.
married next year.
So-
Okay,
so-
congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
And we
So,
was
yeah.
talking about that. We need a man to
We
like,
do.
talk
We
about
need
that.
a male perspective on a lot of things. So this is really great to
We both
Yeah.
have strong women that make us the best version.
Yes,
of ourselves,
yes.
right?
I
Which is
love
important.
that.
For
Shout
sure.
out to them.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
like not for nothing with me. Personally, is like my fiance got to deal with me working all day, then me coaching the kids.
Yes.
So I coach Liberty High School, and I coach at the Bethlehem Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So I coach 2 teams, and I work.
Damn,
So it's
she's
like-
good.
She
Yeah.
sacrifices that time because she knows, one, like how I love coaching and I love football, and she sees that I touch these kids' lives in a positive manner, and you know my players love me, and it's like I'll do anything for them like they were my kids.
Right. And you got younger kids.
And I got
Still
younger
love
kids too.
Yeah.
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 So it all like just happens in an organic way, and
Yeah.
it's thank God that I have her because she's the one that always keeps me
Yes.
grounded
How long
and
has
like
the relationship's been?
He said 8 years he's been married.
So I've been married 8 years. Funny enough, I keep it really short. Me and my wife knew each other less than 6 months before we got married. But we met in church.
When you
and
know,
we
you
were
know.
grown.
When you know, yeah.
When
I
you
was
know,
Grown,
you
we had
know.
lived life. We knew what was what. We knew what we wanted. What
Y'all
we
got
didn't
married
want.
within 6 months?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't waste no time, and God confirmed some things, so we were just obedient, and it's
No,
been a
for sure.
blessing
Yeah.
since. So.
That's hot. Really?
Nah,
Okay,
I'm just
Maybe
I-
Chris need to come back to
I
town.
me,
Part two.
no, listen,
Alright.
me and my fiance's been involved for my oldest is 18,
Mm-hmm.
so about like 16 years, and it was like off and on.
Oh, y'all been together a long
Damn, and y'all-
time.
A lot of it was, me growing up and
yeah.
being,
Mm-hmm.
being a young boy,
Yeah.
and I've, came to realization, that when I became a real man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like this is what life is supposed to be, and
Yeah.
like she truly is a rider.
Wow.
So I had to,
I love that. We're definitely
No.
gonna have you guys back. I love the stories. I love the
Part
energy. I
two.
love what y'all stand for.
From real
And-
estate to,
yes.
I don't know what the next topic
Real,
is.
Yeah.
real estate to
To
real
real
life.
estate to real life.
Yeah, we got you. We got
I
you.
love it, and I appreciate you guys being here. Let's cheers to that. Even though
Cheers,
y'all not, like, I didn't
good
encourage you the rest of
I
that, but
got a sip.
okay, let's
I got a sip left.
cheers
too.
to that conversation.
Right,
To
cheers
real
to part
estate.
two.
Yes, I love
Appreciate
that.
y'all having
Hit
me.
these men up. Y'all looking for a house? You need information? Hop in the DM. Slide in the DM. That's what y'all do. Reach out. IG, Facebook. They got 2 different platforms here. But yeah, it's SipNlips Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. We love y'all. Have a good night, and we'll see y'all next week.
Appreciate y'all.
Yep.